Welcome, everyone. This is Planet Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week, I'm joined by Krister
Hello.
and Cinders.
Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last episode for February 2026, where
Yay.
we're we're first going to have a little look at the last bull roarer for this test cycle. Let's see what they were doing this week as they were getting things prepared for the raid. First off, in the patch notes, they were doing some tweakings, of course, to the upcoming raid. We won't discuss that since that's raid's not in the game yet. But things of note is that they did have everything in there ready for season 17 of the legendary item reward track. So that means that when this update goes live, we'll be starting season 17. Now, if we look at the countdowner, it looks like that's going to be sometimes next week. So I'm going to assume then that most likely update 47 is going to go live next week unless something spectacularly bad happens. In addition to this, there will be 5 new missions and delvings that have been added to Ada game, and that there will soon be 5 more that will be added to Kijan. So there'll be a few more missions then that will be available in the new areas. Now let's go into classes and skills for the burglar. Mischievous Delight once again restores power to your fellowship. For the hunter, explosive decoy now properly explodes more quickly, and its ghost does not linger to taunt your enemies.
Well,
Aww.
it's probably a good thing that it explodes, but it is a bummer the ghost doesn't linger to taunt them.
Yes. It would be nice to have a little taunting machine there while we're trying to give them back. For the mariner, having your balance forcibly reset to neutral now applies a short debuff minus 75% incoming healing plus 10% incoming damage and if for a 4-second duration after rather than stunning you because currently you get stunned in this case, so it looks like it's replacing it with this debuff instead. Which, considering that most of the times where I do have it forcibly reset on me, it's because I'm no longer in combat. So that 4-second stun was very, very annoying at that point. So I could imagine that if it is in the middle of combat and there's someone bashing you on the head, it is going to be a little bit of a problem. Stumbling forward's mischance penalty has been removed and has been replaced with minus 3% mitigations. For the Runekeeper, Fiery Ridicule no longer has an induction, and it can no longer target multiple enemies with the max rank of Conflagration of Runes. Alright, so it is faster to cast then, but it's only going to hit one target, even if you are max traded on it. Alright.
Right? Yeah, that sounds like it's less than now.
Well, it probably depends on how you are using it. I mean, for some, it's probably a major nerf. For others, it might be a buff. Because if you're able to get it off instantaneously,
Yeah, then maybe I guess you can cycle through enemies really quick and hit a bunch in short order.
I suppose that we could get some response from Redline Runekeepers to give their opinions on the matter. I tend to play Yellow Line on my Runekeepers, or Yellow Line or Blue Line. I don't really play Red, so I don't use Fire Ridicule all that much. I often use it as a starter, in which case, if I'm using it as a starter, maybe I don't want it to hit multiple targets. because I don't want to pull everybody off the tank all at once.
True. Yeah, you got a good point.
For quests, deeds, and adventure areas, it is now easier to swap from your fishing rod to your weapon before combat begins when running the Hoot Bowl daily quest Terror of the Deep. All right. I just wish that there was a way to make it possible to switch from your fishing rod to your weapon while in combat. I could just imagine someone who's not expecting it. I mean, I guess if you're expecting it, then it's probably not going to be a problem. But if you aren't expecting it, I have a feeling things still go wrong. This person might not realize that, oh, I better switch my weapon now. I guess we'll have to see. Instances and skirmishes. For the treasure caves of Harum Khana, reduced blade fury, flesh rend, and poison blade damaged. Good. Reduced molten gold hotspot damage. Good. Fix an issue wherein certain boss abilities would not correctly target the main threat. Poison blades is now correctly classified as a poison. Reduce the number of treasure tornadoes when Barlet fight on all tiers. All right, I'd say at least from my playing on tier 1, I would say that's good because there were just too many tornadoes there. And tornadoes of treasure now have a small knockback range to better match the tornado size. A smaller knockback range. Okay. As for the Fallen Palace, Dark Priestesses Barkurani Tier 3 fixed an issue where Haunted Spectre spawning couldn't be inconsistent. They should more reliably start spawning 10 seconds into the phase every 45 seconds after that and up to 3 times per phase. Increased cooldown of Haunting Spectre's Shadow Claw. Thrill the Entangler on all tiers. Pool of Madness. Far Zone is no longer avoidable by going to the very edges of the room. Full of Madness. Far Zone is no longer avoidable. You mean you're trying to get to the farthest person, but if you went too far, you could avoid it? Okay, if that's what they mean, then I will presume then that's fair enough. Rotulko, the Bloody's lockup skill, no longer has an induction. As for UI, fixed a bug that caused confirmation pop-up windows to not be scaled correctly, and carry-all bags are now supported by UI scaling. Carry-all bags use the inventory bags UI scaling option to scale their size. So those are all the changes for the beta, and I'm sure you'll be hearing some of those again next week because we will have update 47 released, assuming nothing really weird goes wrong. And if that's the case, then there will be a full release notes reading. I'm sure Krister is really looking forward to it, right?
Please.
Please. Please be short, I guess, is what you.
Yeah, tonight was reasonable. This sounded great.
Okay.
I feel like something's on the horizon now.
Oh, well. Brewing, yes. Anyway, as I read in that thing, the Legendary Rewards track is scheduled to go to the next season next week, which means that the update is expected next week, which is consistent with them announcing that that was the last Bulwerer build. So everything is pointing to there being a release next week, barring any major disasters. So, Krister, I guess you're not quite ready yet to do the raid yet. So,
No, and I want to be in a position to be ready, so I'm working on that. So
Okay. All right. So we have to see what we got here because there's a lot of stuff on the Guardian here, and that's right. I did read Cinders's response to that last week, a couple weeks ago, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Also
I
next
recalled
week.
an angry rant, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember any anger involved.
Yes.
Well, that's how I'm going to say it.
Oh, well, any case, also that we have next week is the next episode of the Rivers of Middle Earth. This will be part 2 of their trip down the Anduin. So I think that they were somewhere in the Vales, I think, is about where they were at the time where they ended last time. So maybe they can get down to Lothlorien this time. Maybe to the Great River section. We'll have to see how far they. Because now it looks like that most of the tributaries have sort of fed into it, so maybe there won't be so many rivers feeding in. I know when they get to the last part and going into Gondor, there will be rivers feeding into it constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we do have in Lothlorien, we do have the Nimerdel, which feeds into Lothlorien, of course. Yeah, so there are going to be some tributaries. And that's it for our game news. So let's head into our store sales and Cinders. What's on sale this week?
On sale this week, you can make your piece of Middle Earth shine. Get 25% off of select housing decorations, select housing sets, and select cloaks through March 5th. And there's the weekly coupon, which is a free dye, a violet dye, with coupon code BERRYGOOD, BERRYGOOD, also through March 5th.
But is the violet dye Shire Plum colored?
No.
No. Oh, well.
Better not be.
No. Violet is not even remotely close to Shire Plum. The closest color would be actually red in the game. And that's not really the same thing.
No, that's just really far from. All right, then let's have another look at the reminiscing about where we're back to discussing cloaks, it looks like.
Yes.
What happened this week?
So this week, while we were playing LOTRO, I rounded up the guys who were willing to be in the picture, Pineleaf and Oz, basically, because Runt was like, I don't have a cloak, bye.
That's all he wears is cloaks.
And, well, hopefully he has a little more on. LOTRO's pretty good about making sure you're covered. And so we pulled out our favorite cloaks, and in Oz's case, that is the cloak that his character has, thereby making it the most beautiful cloak. So pictured on the left is Pineleaf's cloak, which is from the 4Kel sets. Then Oz has his cloak, and I'm not sure what set that is from. And then I am wearing the Elf Lord's cloak, dyed Shire Plum, of course, and it dyes beautifully. It's normally kind of a all silver color, but I really like the design on it. And
yeah, and mine is also dyed.
Okay, I didn't know if yours was dyed. Is yours dyed green?
Yeah, yes. Mine. I think it's. Let's see. Did I? Because normally I wear turquoise, but it does look a bit green in this picture. But I normally wear dyed turquoise.
It looks green.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It certainly looks green in that picture.
It does. Anyhow, so those are our favorite cloaks, and we hope that you will post pictures of your favorite cloaks. But next week, we're moving on to something different. What?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know yet, but it's not cloaks.
Well, the next week is a release notes week, so it might be the week after where we move to it.
Fair. But I think we're done with the cloaks conversation at this point.
Okay. That was a February conversation.
Yes, unless you share your cloaks with us, at which point they will show up down in the response category. But we'll be doing something different um,
Okay.
going forward.
Very well. Then we will march into the weekend gaming. Krister, what were you up
March.
to?
This week was back to focusing on my inventory across all my characters in LOTRO, trying to consolidate everything and get rid of everything. And I've come to this fundamental realization that when I spent the first 16 years with a inventory organization system of chaos and desperation, that it's incredibly hard to transform that into a system of order. And
Right.
so I'm struggling with that, but slowly but surely. But finding interesting things that I hung on to, just for hanging on to, that have no practical use whatsoever. So it's been kind of a nostalgic thing. I think if you're a pack rat, when you finally have to go through your boxes and figure out what you throw away, even though you haven't opened that box in 10 years, you can't throw away anything in that box for some reason. so, so it's been hard, but I'm determined to do it because I think I can literally free up hundreds of inventory spaces once I get this organization done. And then in ESO, we had a lot of fun grouping and doing some adventuring. And then in Helldivers, I got to get some delicious revenge, and it's just a was a had several fun adventures. Cinders, what were you up to this week?
I spent most of my week in ESO, starting with PvP in ESO on Sunday morning, and we got lots of alliance points, and it was really fun because Pine Leaf ran with us, and Pine Leaf doesn't PvP, and I'm so proud of Pine Leaf for PvPing.
I
Um,
got to have a moment. I got to have a moment where Pine Leaf was under attack, and I came and I saved him.
isn't that like the best feeling ever?
It
Just being
totally
a
is.
hero.
I'm at my heart. I'm a tank. So
Uh,
if I can save my teammate by sacrificing myself, I did my job.
mhm. And I think we were still playing that same day, and at one point, I was dead. Sans was dead. Oh no, maybe that was Wednesday. Anyhow, and then Krister came in and saved the day again. So he does it more often than we give him credit for. Um, mostly because we don't want it to go to his head. Then
Too late.
on Monday, I did LOTRO with the guys, and we squirmished.
Squirmished.
Squirmish.
Skirmished.
That's
Um,
it. That's the title of tonight. Squirmish.
you figure out how to spell it. We skirmished, quote unquote, responsibly. We did not have a full fellowship, but Pine Leaf did not object, so we did Thievery and Mischief and Defense of the Prancing Pony. With did we have 4 people? I want to say we had 4 people. Doing 6-man instances, so that was interesting. But nobody important died. I only died a couple of times. Because brawlers don't really have a heal. And then I spent some time playing ESO with Pine Leaf and working on our Aldemiri Dominion characters on the offhand chance that PvP is not going to be in Daggerfall Covenant this time. So we decided to work on some of the other characters, and then we're going to need to spend some time working on our Ebonheart Pack characters too. Because they're babies.
Yeah. Who knows which one they'll have tomorrow? Because the campaign does that
It
reset the
resets.
start of the month, or does it reset?
I believe it's a
on the
monthly
first?
reset was how it was sounding,
Yeah.
and so they're expecting a new campaign this next tomorrow. So now all of our characters are over 15, even though there's still a pretty big jump between 19 and 50. So aside from having slow horses, though, I think they'll be just fine. And Pilot, how was your week?
All right, my week. Well, my warden fought to save Gondor from a song. And in DDO, I finished my journeys in the Feywild, so I'm getting ready to head out towards the Isle of Dread. And at the very end of it, I did try out the latest character archetype that they are just releasing in DDO, the Arcane Trickster. just getting to know it at the beginning now, so I don't have too much to say about it. I mean, it looks interesting so far, but we have to see if I'm still saying the same thing after playing it for a couple months. And then in ESO, there was a helmet that I needed that drops from veteran Shipwright Regret. So I thought, okay, since a couple of days, since yesterday was it yesterday or no, a couple, it was 2 days. So on Thursday, I decided to make a request that we run veteran Shipwright's Regret in order to get that helmet. And when we were doing the final boss fight, I think the regret part was very, very strong. that that boss fight, because that's the first time I did that dungeon, and doing that boss fight in vet was really, really. Oh my goodness gracious! Is this helmet worth it? I was sort of not feeling really up to it by the time that was over. It was really a relief when we finally were able to get through it. But let's just say that it did not give me a good feeling on my record as a healer during that run. Oh boy, they were wiping the deck of us. Well, anyways, we did manage to eventually finish it, and I got the shiny helmet as a result of that. And that includes my week in gaming. If you have any feedback, like comments about our cloaks or anything like that, then you could send a message to podcast@lotraplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, oh no, Lotro Players News. Oh my goodness gracious. And re-record DDO Players News when Drac is available. And that's all for tonight. And this is Piney Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.